are you?
Good morning, Greg.
Great to see you
Courtney,
again.
Lady, good to see you guys.
Good to see you.
Grateful. I always tell you, great radio voice.
Yeah.
You missed your calling.
Oh. Thank you, I guess.
But you took your family's. I'm always interested in the stories of entrepreneurs. Your family had a
fish market in Inman Square, Cambridge.
Okay.
From like 1950 on, and when no one was eating fish, we were funny. We were one of the few Jewish families that lived for Lent and Fridays. And when the Pope decreed you no longer had to eat fish on Fridays, we thought, oh, this is it for us.
It's over. Forget about it. And then when did you open the first legal?
So Inman Square in Cambridge was actually the first legal. We had some space. Next, my grandfather had a little mom and pop grocery store. And my father opened up a fish market next to the grocery store. And, people said, how'd you get the name Legal? And the name of my grandfather's market was Legal Cash Market. They used to redeem legal cash stamps, which were the forerunner of the S&H Green stamp. Wow. And my father just wanted to show that, hey, the same family tie-in, because my grandfather was known for quality and meats and produce, and now we had fish, and that's sort of how we got had. So we had a sort of a food background.
And you built it into 35 legal restaurants around the country?
Yeah, mostly East Coast.
East Coast.
Yeah.
And the legal chowder, if I remember correctly, was served at every presidential inauguration for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Now, what you brought in today is your new venture and your new double clam chowder.
Right, exactly. So when I sold a few years ago, I couldn't take the recipe with me, so I thought, well, I still want to sell fish, and I love chowder. So I had time to think about it. I said, you know what? We're just going to come up with a better clam chowder. And so I thought, well, how can I let people know it's better? And I go, well, the reality is, it's twice as many, almost 3 times as many clams in that clam chowder than almost any other clam chowder, because no one's stupid enough to put that many clams in. But we thought, what the hell? Let's give it a shot. And actually, the funny thing is the inspiration, believe it or not, for doing a double clam chowder had to do with a sports figure in Boston. Guy by the name
Jermaine Wiggins.
Well, there is a Patriot story that I'll get to, but actually, the guy that actually had the inspiration on the chowder was a guy by the name of Red Auerbach.
Oh,
yes, and Red was sort of a friend. I always thought of him as really like an older brother, kind of like a mentor. And the great thing about Red is that he would just call it out as he saw it. So I remember when we first opened in D.C., Red kind of took me under wing and introduced me to some of his friends down there and in real estate and whatnot. And so anytime I would go down to D.C. to check on the restaurants, I'd give Red a call. But Red loved Washington. I mean, his whole, all his friends, family stayed in Washington. He loved it. And so I called him up because we'd get together for lunch or dinner. And so on one call, I said, Red, we're going to get together for lunch. He goes, yeah. He goes, you know what, but I got a complaint. I go, okay, because when Red had a complaint, you listen to him, because he usually was spot on. He goes, I had your clam chowder in Costco. And I go, the flavor's pretty good. He goes, but there was a problem with it. And I go, oh.
Got it.
Did you dump out of that, Shime? You did.
Yeah, I did. I had to.
Not enough.
Good job, though.
Not enough
I'll use F in it.
I love a good F-bomb.
So I ended up pulling it off the market. I go, all right, I got to, because, Red said, hey, it might be a little thing to you, but to me, it's a big deal. I go, I get it, Red. So I pulled it off, and as I was, coming up with this new chowder, I sort of channeled Red. I gotta put enough effing clams in this clam chowder.
I think you did. It's very, very good. Courtney, what's your...
unbelievable. And I like when there's like a bit of pepper taste. Yeah. There's good pepper taste in this as well. Very, very good.
Good balance. Really rich stock. And that's the key, because a lot of people cheat on chowder. You know, a lot of it's flour, and you know, sometimes you see chowder, you stick a spoon in it, and it stands straight up. It's like a cement. And that's not clam chowder. People eat clam chowder, they want to taste clams, and so.
Well, it's Rogers Fish Company, and it is the double clam chowder. And you can get it if you go to Market Basket, or you go to Cafe Nero, Dave's Fresh Marketplace, Sip Cafe, and Post Office Square, and ask for it wherever you normally go, and give it a try.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, what was your Patriots story?
Oh, so the Patriot story. So years ago, there was a study done at Harvard that showed that men who had a lot of zinc, typically through oysters, because oysters have more zinc than any other product, it gave men in particular more energy, whether it's at home or on the field.
We understand.
And there was a guy, Tom Hoffman. I don't know if you remember Tom Hoffman. He used to be the head of publicity for the Patriots. He was a friend. And I said, you know, Tom, men who eat oysters actually have better performance because the more you sweat out in the field, the more zinc leaves your system. So if you have a higher zinc buildup, you're going to perform better. So I used to do oysters for the Patriots before every game, every home game. But then they were going to play the Jets one year. And I got a call, can you get the oysters to go? So you know, it was a little cumbersome trying to keep it in the shell, so I put it in these pine containers, and I shipped it off. And I remember watching the game that Sunday, and there's one player in particular that's having a career game, and it was Don Hasselbeck. And he was just catching everything in sight. And after the game, you know, Patriots won that game. And the next morning, I get a call from Hoffman going, were the oysters all right? I go, yeah, they were fine. He said, well, one of the players was feeling really queasy after eating the oysters. And it turned out it was Hasselbeck. And I said, well, how many did he eat? And they couldn't tell me. I go, well, let's go by container. Long story short, he ate 8 dozen oysters.
8 dozen oysters?
8 dozen oysters. And he had a career game.
All right.
So,
cracking oysters on the sidelines and catching passes.
Yes.
Hannah used to eat them. You know.
Wiggy doesn't eat seafood because you could have extended your career, maybe.
Yeah, I probably should have. I probably
career at home as well.
Well, I mean, forget about it. I'm talking about on the football field.
Sounds to me like with the extra zinc, we ought to get some of this double clam chowder to Bill Belichick and his new lady.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe. All right. So this is Roger. I'm so appreciative of you bringing this in this morning, and we are delighted that this is your new venture.
Thank you.
And congratulations. And be on the lookout for the double clam chowder. And you can order online, right?
You can order online at rogersfishco.com.
Okay. All right. Roger Berkowitz.